Now, our guest today is Ed Saavedra, the chairman and CEO of publicly listed firm Megawide. He's here to share his thoughts on the Philippine construction industry and how infrastructure development is impacting economic growth. Ed's insights as a leader in engineering and infrastructure will help us understand how the industry is evolving amidst a changing macroeconomic backdrop. Now, Ed, lots of changes on the macroeconomic side, and it's going to be great for everybody. Plus, there's the government's infrastructure push. And not to mention the lower interest rate environment. You've got three publicly listed firms. There's Megawide, there's CREIT, and CREC. But for the purpose of this interview and given time constraints, we're going to stick to the parent firm, your construction parent firm, Megawide. We'll talk numbers. I know you like talking about the bigger picture, so we'll skip Q3 and go straight to full year 2024. Your net income in the first half increased by 21% to 438 million on sustained momentum from your construction business. Now, looking at the 2024 figures, your revenue target was for 20 billion pesos. Are you on track to hit this?
Yes, very much on track.
Okay. By how much?
Most likely within that range.
Okay.
Yeah, within that range.
It's a big number already. For Capex, in 2024, you allotted 3 billion pesos for that. Over the next 2 years, I know you plan on spending 16 billion pesos. That's a huge jump over the next 2 years. Where are you going to be spending this money on?
Yes, this is because when we acquired PH1 Developers, one of our development company, about 2 years ago. So 80% of that 16 billion goes to the spending for the Capex of this residential condominium. It's a combination of vertical and horizontal development.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
And then also the carbon market, so which is the public market. We're also building now the main public market in Cebu.
Okay. Right now, you're not just a construction firm anymore. You're a parent firm seeding a lot of other companies. With that Capex, how does that affect your revenue target for 2025? Coming from 20 billion in 2024, what's your revenue target coming into the new year?
Okay. Most of these Capex that we'll be rolling out now, most of these projects will be completed by 2026. We expect that majority of the revenue contribution will be coming from the subsidiaries, will be around 2026 or 2027 onwards.
Okay.
A lot of this will be more spending on 2025 and 2026. But as a parent company of Megawide, as a construction company, the revenue goes to Megawide as a construction. Mm-hmm. But in terms of revenue from the development, normally it will contribute, the bigger contribution will be around 26, 27 onwards.
What's Megawide's portfolio mix, the sectors that you're in?
Okay, typically we try to maintain the mix in terms of sectors like infrastructure, and then 1/3 infrastructure, 1/3 private development projects. These are commercial and residential condominiums, which we normally do. And then 1/3 related to affiliates. These are like our own developments, like public markets, residential condominium, and also solar projects, power, energy sectors, which is our affiliates, Citycore.
It's interesting that aside from the big ticket government projects, you also take on the private stuff.
Yes. Well, remember, Maiki, Megawide, we grew the company by getting purely private projects. So we started as doing construction, serving to our private clients, big developers.
Yeah. Have you grown since, Ed? Moving forward, as the government pushes for more infrastructure projects, what types of infrastructure projects are you most interested in bidding for?
Okay, out of the 5 trillion, more than 5 trillion projects that the government is launching, Megawide is looking a total of around 800 billion, which we intend to participate. These are typically like rail projects, bridges, and most of these projects are ODA projects, like JICA, ADB funded. So we intend to participate, and then the plan is also to partner with foreign contractors That's part of the requirement for you to be able to participate in this type of projects. So
Okay.
these are the projects that we intend to participate.
Okay. Looking at the bigger picture, what's your take on the government's infrastructure push, and what's your outlook for the construction and engineering industry, given the lower interest rate environment, the cut in the reserve requirement ratio of banks? I mean, interest rates here and in the U.S. are coming down. How is that going to change the landscape that you guys play in?
Well, I think if you look at Philippines infrastructure, Maiki, we have plenty of projects. It's always, we have not enough projects to build. That's always been the problem, a good problem for Philippines. So for us as a construction company, so it's a good problem. So in terms of private sector, so we expect the lowering of the interest rates. We hope that the real estate market will somehow improve or boost by next year or onwards, just like 5-7 years ago before we got the pandemic. Yes. Because this will make the unit buyers more affordable. As we know, interest rates now is very high.
Yeah, I mean, you can even give us your outlook for the real estate sector, which you're quite bullish on, because just after the pandemic, following your divestment from the airport, the Mactan Cebu Airport, you acquired PH1 World Developers. Talk to us about your outlook for the property industry given the reduction in interest rates.
Okay, as you know, when we unload our asset 2 years ago, so we acquired PH1 Developers doing mostly affordable housing. That's why out of the 16 billion, more than 80% of that Capex are from this subsidiary of Megawide. So we're looking, that the BBM is focusing their 4PH. They want to address the housing backlog. So we want to target a portion of this and also somewhere this segment, the segment of the affordable housing. So we're bullish on that. As you know, there is a real backlog in Philippines as far as the affordable housing segment is concerned.
So how are you expanding your land bank to fill that backlog?
Okay, so right now the group is expanding more of doing more JVs. We prefer to do more JVs, but some of them we also acquire. So it's combination with JVs and also an acquisition. So for us, the strategy is every time we acquire properties, we normally build it right away.
As you've listed more companies since Megawide, C-REIT in 2022, Citicorp in 2024. Looking ahead, what's the future for PH1 World Developers? Are you looking to go public on the real estate side as well?
Okay, not yet in the next near future yet. We want to build more inventory. So as you can see, 16 billion, hopefully by next year. Every year we will keep on rolling out more projects. So once we have more inventory, that's the only time we will see if it will be worthwhile to do the IPO.
Of course, it's only been a year. And I'll sneak in one more question, shifting gears before we go, because our time is almost up. One of your biggest projects, the Metro Manila subway system, that was the target completion date there was 2028 to 2029. When do you think this is going to be finished? Are you on track? Are you guys on track? I mean, you only have one part of this. It's a massive project. And as with big ticket projects like this, it's got to be chopped up. So I know you have one part of that. Are we on track to complete it by 2028 and 2029?
Well, as you know, most of these infrastructure projects, the typical problem is really right of way. Though the subway is most of the alignment will be underground, but we still have those depot and stations where you still have some right-of-way issue.
And those are the biggest challenges.
Those are the biggest challenges.
That's what's delaying the subway project.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So it's beyond our control. However, for us, we are still on track as far as what the scope of work is, can be done.
Well, we're all looking forward to that Metro Manila subway station. Ed, that's all the time we have. But thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure to have you. We'll do this again with your other companies.
Thank you, Maiki.
Okay.
Thank you for having me here in your new basis point, your new baby.
Okay. Thank you, Ed. All right. That was Edgar Saavedra, the chairman and CEO of Megawide.